Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is OU Football Update with Jeremy Poplin.
Let's face it, the only real reason why I'm here is because my name's on the open. You don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from the voice of the Sooners, and let him take it away now.
Hi, everybody. Toby Rowland with you here at News 9 and Griffin Communications, and we're going to talk a little bit about the OU press conference today. It's the first weekly Brent Venables press conference. Our reaction to that as we get set for the season opener for the Sooners on Saturday, coming up against Illinois State. My partner in crime was there at the press conference today, Chris, a.k.a. CW, a.k.a. C. Willie, a.k.a. Bones, a.k.a. Room Temp Williams. What's up, Chris?
I was really hoping you were going to start this off with the iconic "It's football time in Oklahoma." I guess I have to wait till Saturday.
Wait till Saturday.
That's soon. I love
that.
You walk in the stadium, Toby's voice coming through the speakers. Love it. Hey, press conference this morning I thought was good. I love that we're getting both Ben Arbuckle and Brent Venables. Supposed to get that every week from what I hear, so I love that. Loved hearing from Ben Arbuckle. Man, he can sure speak, can he, Toby?
Yeah, he's 29. It's amazing how young he is. So you were there. I was not. I was watching Brent Venables online, but we didn't get to see Ben Arbuckle. Let's start with that. What was your biggest takeaway from what the new offensive coordinator had to say?
Yeah, it sounds like, one, he had no problem taking control of this group. He is just 29, but his maturity and football maturity are just well beyond that. And he sounds like he really likes the way the guys have bought into his system. They seem to have followed his energy and excitement. And of course, the relationship he has with John Mateer. We knew that was a big thing. Those two coming here together from Washington State, the way he talks about Mateer and the confidence he has in him breeds confidence in Sooner fans.
It's interesting. I thought the thing he had to say that was most notable today is just the logistics thing, and he's going to be on the sidelines. That is not unheard of, but it's certainly not common in college football for the offensive coordinator to be in the sidelines. Most of the time, they like to be up in the booth with the bird's eye view. I like it, though, especially with his energy and enthusiasm. I think it could be helpful for that offense for him to be down there. I guess we'll see how it plays out, but I thought that was interesting today, Chris.
Yeah, it is, especially now that you have the helmet communication in college, so they could be in the press box and still talking to their quarterback. But when he explained it, I feel like it really showed, okay, this fits who he is as a person. This was his explanation when he was asked about it.
The immediate communication and interaction I can have with the guys, right? Whether there's a adjustment that needs to be made, or something really good happened right there, and you gotta tell them, okay, hey, this happened, we got to keep on doing this, be ready for this. I think the immediate communication that I can have, and you can also get a sense for your players when you're down there, right? Are they too high? Are they too low? And you can do something about it immediately, other than being in the box and having to necessarily rely on everyone else down there. And for me personally, just being a quarterback guy, I like being able to look John in the eyes and talk to him. I think that's really important. I think that direct communication and getting on the same page is really important. So that's why I like being on the field.
And you can see that energy, Toby, at practice, the way he's always talking to his guys, always going back and forth, asking what they see. I think that's why they like him and trust him so much.
It's going to be fun to watch the Oklahoma sideline between the energetic Ben Arbuckle, Brent Venables, who is always that way, Miguel Chavis. This may be the most entertaining sideline in America this season. Okay, Brent Venables' first weekly press conference. Takeaways from that. I wrote down some notes here, but what was the biggest thing that hit your ear today?
Well, no update on Kendall Dolby and Eli Bowen, two returning starters that'll both play a lot of cornerback this season. But the way he talked about Cortland Guillory, who is a true freshman, and they've spoken highly of him all throughout camp. Cortland certainly has no lack of confidence, but the way Brent Venables talked about him, who will be likely starting as a true freshman to open things up, I thought it was fun and it was interesting.
He would be what you would call a dog, just really tough mentally and physically. He, again, loves to compete. He's just hungry. And it's not like he's out there self-promoting or I'm going to be the best ever. He's not like that. He's super humble, raised the right way. He loves his teammates. He's a great teammate. he'd be third on the depth chart. He'd be cool. Just whatever opportunity I get, I'm going to go dominate, that moment. And but he's just quickly earned his way, to the top. And but he's done it just in a blue-collar kind of way, just showing up every day with the right mindset, with the right attitude, with the right humility, with the right work ethic. And as I said, man, he's lost plenty of battles, but he's gotten better through those.
And Toby, that's part of the key is you have to be cocky at corner, and you have to be able to say, hey, things didn't go my way, and I need to be able to turn around and still believe I'm the best player on the field the very next snap. So he definitely has that going for him.
I don't know if he's going to start. There's a pretty good chance he will, it looks like. Mm-hmm. That's remarkable on the defense for this team. There's going to be some guys on offense that are true freshmen that are either going to start or play quite a bit, like Michael Fasusi, Elijah Thomas. But for a guy on this defense who brought back, almost everybody that was big playmakers from a year ago, there is a ton of experience on that side of the ball. And for a true freshman to break through and potentially win a starting job is interesting. He looks the part, man. His size, his length. I'm very much looking forward to seeing him out there. I thought the very first question Brent was asked today was about John Mateer. It was something to the effect of, are you not nervous, but eager to see exactly whether he lives up to the hype? And he said, no, I'm completely confident in John Mateer. He said, maybe there are some other guys who I haven't seen a lot that I'm interested to see how they respond with 85,000 people in the stands, but he has no concerns at all. I hope he's right. I think he probably is, but this is a different thing. And I know John Mateer was in the Palace for the spring game, and he's played in front of some big crowds. But this is as our old friend used to say, this is a different breed of cat in Norman when Oklahoma's playing at home. But he's confident in his quarterback, and I think Sooner Nation's very much looking forward to seeing what number 10 has for him on Saturday.
Yeah, Toby, another thing that's kind of stuck out to me about Brent through camp this season is in the past, it's felt like he really goes out of his way to try to list guys that he's impressed with, and he's been doing some of that, but it doesn't feel like he feels like he needs to list a bunch of guys and instill confidence in them and point them out. It feels like he has this level of confidence in the guys that he has on defense where it's almost an unspoken to an extent. The linebackers, the Kip Lewises, that defensive line with R. Mason Thomas. It just, maybe I'm reading too much into that, but to me it feels like Brent is so comfortable with that group, he doesn't feel the need to really push those names out to us.
They are also getting a lot of preseason praise. Mm-hmm. That could be one of those situations where when nobody's talking about your defense in the preseason or they're not being talked about as loftily, you try to build them up a little bit. I think, it is a coach's natural instinct when you're getting a bunch of praise to kind of, hey, everybody calm down. Let's don't start buying the newspaper clippings here a little bit. And there have been multiple publications that have said Oklahoma may have the best defensive line in the SEC, maybe in the country. And while it may be true, I'm sure Brent's trying to convince them that they're not all that too. So that's a good point you bring up. One of the questions that was asked in today's press conference was about the retention on defense. And maybe people haven't given Venables enough credit for that. And certainly they haven't won as many games as everybody would like these first 3 years. But what he has done on that side of the ball in building up an Oklahoma defense that was abysmal when he arrived.
Yes.
And now is experienced, deep and talented and loaded with guys who are probably going to play in the NFL. Multiple guys that are certainly headed in that direction. And able to keep, in the day of the transfer portal and NIL, able to keep R. Mason Thomas, as he said today, from going somewhere where he could have gotten 7 figures.
Yeah.
And Jaden Jackson and several other guys, and going out and picking up some guys themselves, like a Kendall Daniels in the portal. They did a fantastic job this offseason in keeping the guys that they wanted to keep a part of this defense. Now we'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, he talked a little bit about Kendall Daniels today and just how a big part of the overall defensive game plan is how quickly could Kendall Daniels pick up the positions, because he'll play all 3 linebacker spots, Will, Mike, and Cheetah.
What do you call him, K5?
K5, yeah.
K5?
I thought you were the nickname guy, Toby.
Well, I like that one. I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah, you outsourced it to Brent Venables, huh?
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. He's going to go ahead and finish your thought, but he's going to be everywhere, it sounds like.
Yeah, he is. And I think it's so funny when you look at the depth chart of Cheetah, because you have Kendall Daniels, 6'5", 242, and then you have Reggie Powers, who's 5'11", 212.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just such a unique position. But yeah, Reggie Powers is another one that's been getting a lot of praise all the way through camp.
It was 35 minutes into the press conference before anybody asked about Illinois State. Venables noted that. He laughed about it when he finally got a question. This is a pretty good offense. I'm not trying to overhype it, but the offense for Illinois State is better than the defense. I think their defense is going to struggle. But the offense, a team that went to the FCS playoffs last year, they got a senior quarterback. They got a really good running back. His name is Winkers. I love that. His first name is Winkers. They got two talented wide receivers. One of them's really big. So, again, I'm not trying to tell you this is Alabama or anything, but their offense may at least test Oklahoma, it sounds like, a little bit.
Yeah, and Brent even pointed out, they played Iowa last year to open up the season. Iowa's known for having a great defense, and they moved the ball on Iowa pretty well. So it's not like these guys, it's not going to be their first time seeing a big-time defense. It's not going to be their first time. Sure, they're not used to it. They don't do it every week. But yeah, they have some experience there on the coaching staff, quarterback, and they've played big-time opponents. So you can't look at Michigan just yet. But on the same topic there, Toby, as much as Brent laughed at not getting a question, he ended that answer with, but it's going to come down to us, right? If OU plays the way OU should and could play, then they shouldn't have to worry about a thing.
Let me ask you this. You have been to maybe every Brent Venables press conference since he got here. You've been to post-practice availabilities. You've seen him in front of cameras and microphones for several years now. My point is, we're on the brink of a new season. What has his demeanor, his maybe confidence level this year been compared to the last 3 years going into a year? And maybe it's unchanged. I don't know. But what's kind of your perception of Brent Venables going into year 4?
I thought about it today. I've been thinking about it at media days. It's okay, can we see a difference in Brent knowing this is such a big year on his shoulders? One thing that has always impressed me about Coach Venables is that he talks about how he doesn't worry about things out of his control. He doesn't look too far down the road, and he truly has that ability. I don't know how he does it. I wish I could be like that. So no, I didn't really think it was that noticeable of a difference. I think someone maybe told him to be a little more concise in his answers than when he first became a head coach. But by and large, I think he truly does just treat everything the same. He was in a great mood today, but I haven't noticed a big difference. I don't know. Is that kind of your take on it too?
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think his demeanor and personality changed too much. I do feel like, though, going into this year, I think he thinks he's got a squad.
Yeah.
Like I kind of just, and some of that is off camera during commercial breaks, not just kind of, he seems like he knows this is his best team he's had since he's been here. And if everybody stays healthy and you get some breaks and stuff like that, this is his team that gives him a chance to do something. And maybe I'm reading too much between the lines there, but there is a little more of a settledness to him. Mm-hmm. He can be kind of fidgety guy that's always going 100, like he's had a Red Bull right before he saw you,
Yeah.
But there's a little bit more of a settledness to his demeanor, in my opinion, going into this year. I think he feels confident about his hire at offensive coordinator.
Yes.
I think he feels confident about the quarterback they went and got. I think he feels confident about what he has returning on the defensive side of the ball and the fact that they've been here long enough that they know what he wants. Mm-hmm. Like when he got here in year 1, everything was a foreign language to the players. And now a lot of them, maybe most of them, have been here for 2 or 3 years, and they understand the Brent Venables defense, and that gives him confidence. And now you got to keep everybody healthy, and you're going to get in games where it's going to come down to a field goal or whatever. You never know. But I don't know. I just get the sense that at least at this point, going into the new year, he feels better about this squad than he has his first 3.
Toby, we laughed about it. The first open practice of fall camp, they let us film for 45 minutes, maybe even a little longer, close to an hour. We kind of looked at each other like, yeah, you don't let people do that unless you feel pretty good about what they're going to be shooting on that field.
Yeah, he didn't have many secrets, or at least he was able to not show them for 45 minutes until you guys left. Anyway, okay. Anything else before we go that jumped out at you at the presser today, either Arbuckle or Venables, or maybe even from your conversation with John Mateer last night?
I've been continually impressed with the way John Mateer seems to be handling it. As you know, you've been around this long enough to know if you play quarterback at Oklahoma and you do well, it's fantastic from the fans. If you struggle, it's not so much. Dean Blevins has talked about how he was booed off the field, and it still stings to this day. That was 50 whatever years ago. But he handles it all well. He seems made for this moment, and he seems ready for it. So just the confidence and the demeanor that John Mateer has, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be ups and downs all season, but he seems ready for all that comes with that position at that university.
Okay, we're going to do this for you folks every week. After the press conference, we'll have a recap of at least our takeaways from what Coach Venables had to say. Also coming up a little bit later in the week, a preview of this Saturday's matchup. I'm going to be chatting with Illinois State's play-by-play voice, let you know a little bit more about what the Redbirds are bringing into Owen Field on Saturday. Look for that later in the week. Chris, let's get back to doing some television. Good job. We'll see y'all later in the week.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma's Own digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.